Hey amazing viewers, today I am bringing you the incredible story of Chris Msando, his humble beginnings, his passion for technology, and how he became a key figure in Kenya's electoral process. So buckle up and trust me, you don't want to skip a second of this video. As we dive deep into his life, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you have not subscribed already. It really helps us grow our family and allows YouTube to recommend this video to more viewers like you. Let's get started. In 2017, the murder of Chris Msando, the ICT manager for Kenya's Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, sent shockwaves through the nation. As the man responsible for safeguarding the integrity of the electoral process, Msando's death raised alarming questions. Was he betrayed by those he trusted most? And was his murder linked to a sinister plot to manipulate Kenya's fiercely contested elections? Join us as we unravel the chilling conspiracy, the political intrigue, and the ongoing battle for justice in one of Kenya's most notorious assassinations. Chris Msando was born in 1982 in Kenya's western region, specifically in the village of Kihoto in the Kisumu County. He was a well-educated man, having obtained a degree in computer science from the University of Nairobi. His passion for technology led him to a successful career in the public service, where he earned a reputation as an expert in information technology. By 2017, Msando had risen to the position of the acting ICT director at the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, IEBC, the body responsible for conducting elections in Kenya. He was widely recognized for his work in modernizing the electoral process and implementing new technologies aimed at ensuring transparent and credible elections. From an early age, Msando displayed a strong interest in learning. His parents, recognizing his potential, supported his educational journey despite the challenges often faced by rural families in accessing quality schooling. He attended primary school in his home village, where he was known as a bright and determined student. After completing his primary education, Msando joined Maseno School, one of the region's most prestigious secondary schools, known for producing some of Kenya's brightest minds. Here, he excelled, particularly in science and mathematics, subjects that sparked his passion for technology. Msando's academic achievements earned him a place at the University of Nairobi, one of Kenya's top institutions. At university, he pursued a degree in computer science, a field that was rapidly growing in importance in Kenya's evolving digital landscape. His interest in technology, combined with his analytical mind, allowed him to thrive in this demanding field. At the university, Msando became known not only for his technical skills, but also for his leadership qualities. He was actively involved in student organizations and often took on leadership roles in group projects, gaining the respect of his peers and lecturers alike. As Kenya prepared for the general elections scheduled for August 8, 2017, tensions were high. The political climate was charged, with opposition parties accusing the ruling government of electoral malpractices. The IEBC was under immense pressure to deliver a credible election, and Msando was at the forefront of these efforts, leading the charge on the introduction of an electronic voting system. In the lead-up to the elections, Msando was vocal about the integrity of the electoral process. He assured the public that the electronic voting system would enhance transparency and reduce the chances of rigging. His commitment to ensuring free and fair elections earned him respect among many Kenyans, especially those who had suffered from the violence and irregularities of previous elections. On Friday, July 28th of 2017, Chris Msando went missing. He was last seen leaving his office at the IEBC, and shortly afterward, he stopped responding to phone calls and messages. His family and colleagues reported his disappearance the following day after they were unable to reach him. Msando's car was also missing, and his phone was turned off, raising immediate concerns about his safety. According to reports, Msando had expressed concerns about his safety. There were rumors that he had received threats, and he was reportedly worried of the political climate surrounding the election. It is unclear whether he received any formal protection, but his role as the overseer of the critical electoral systems may have made him a target. Former IEBC Commissioner Roselyn Akombe stated that Chris Msando, the Commission's slain ICT manager, was led to the slaughterhouse by insiders within the Commission. She expressed her willingness to testify at any potential inquest and likened the killers to Judas Iscariot. Akombe accused authorities of not being willing to arrest Msando's killers, claiming that the office of the DCI Director of Public Prosecutions exhibited laxity in the case. On the day 3 years prior, Msando's body was discovered in a thicket at Muguga Forest in Kikuyu, a killing that nearly threw the August 8, 2017 polls into disarray. He had been tortured with cuts on his hands, arms, and back. Reports indicated that a hand was broken as his killers sought his password to the election results transmission system. The postmortem revealed only deep cuts, as it was confirmed that he had been strangled. Msando had promised to ensure that the IEBC's technological system for the 2017 elections was foolproof. Although President Uhuru Kenyatta's victory was later nullified by the Supreme Court due to irregularities in the process, he won in a rerun. In a series of tweets, Akombe placed the IEBC under scrutiny, alleging that Msando's colleagues had sold him out to his killers. She affirmed her readiness to share what she knew about the events surrounding his death. Having fled to the United States due to threats against her life, Akombe returned to work for the United Nations. She tweeted, and I quote, "It is painful that instead of supporting you, your own colleagues led you to the slaughterhouse. Like Judas, they sold you for 30 cents. She also vowed, we will fight justice for you, no matter how long it takes." End of quotes. However, IEBC Chairman Wafula Chebukati remarked that it was unfair for Akombe to speak out 3 years later when she had been present during the time of the murder. He said, "We all want to see justice for the family of Msando and for Msando. We have said this from the beginning," Chebukati told the media. He suggested that Akombe should assist authorities in solving the murder, implying that she possessed information that could be vital for the investigations. If Akombe is in any way unable to present herself to the DCI, the police can arrange to take her information, he added. Akombe had requested the Law Society of Kenya to take up the case in the public interest and disclosed her willingness to testify. However, LSK President Nelson Havi dismissed her request, stating, "Am I the DCI? I don't conduct homicide investigations. Ask the people who handle such matters." By press time, DPP Nordin Haji and DCI George Kinoti had yet to respond to inquiries about the progress of the investigation and whether a murder inquest will be opened. Akombe appeared to be the lone voice actively seeking justice for Msando. At the time of his death, NASA leaders claimed that Msando had been silenced to facilitate the rigging of the 2017 polls. In her end of assignment report, after fleeing Kenya in 2017, Akombe noted her suspicions regarding the Commission's results transmission system. Her confidence in the system had plummeted following Msando's brutal murder. The dominance of saffron (OT Mofo) in all aspects of the Commission's work warrants in-depth investigations, including their role in the 2017 elections, her report stated. She expressed concerns about the security of the IEBC hardware, database, and network levels, despite reassurances from ICT officials. These assurances were not convincing, especially given that The commission lacked backup data centers and relied solely on one at the anniversary towers, which was on the verge of collapsing, Akombe remarked. She recalled that when the display of results stopped at the Bomas of Kenya around 8:30 p.m. on August 8th, neither IEBC staff nor Saffron officials could explain the interruption. However, when the display resumed after 3 hours, the margin of difference between President Kenyatta and the NASA candidate Raila Odinga remained constant throughout the transmission process. It is such a situation that will forever leave questions in my mind about what actually happened on August 8th, Akombe concluded. She also revealed the protracted conflict between Chebukati and then CEO Ezra Chiloba over the procurement of poll materials. On social media, Kenyans urged Akombe to disclose what had transpired on the night of Msando's murder. Msando had been in his position for barely 2 months when he confidently declared the computerized voting system to be foolproof. Numbers played a crucial role in the contest between Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga, with ODM supporters accusing the IEBC of orchestrating a plot to rig the presidential election. The IEBC faced immense pressure to deliver a credible poll, and this success hinged on the Kim's kits. At that time, Msando assured Kenyans that the electronic voting system, which was to determine the outcome of the high-stakes elections, could not be hacked. He said, and I quote, "Everything is set so that only one person has the password that controls the entire streaming results," referring to himself. End of quote. Days after making these remarks, Msando was tortured and murdered under circumstances linked to the heated electoral contest. His body was found alongside that of a woman on the day he was scheduled to oversee public testing of the system. The woman was later identified as Caro Ngumbu, a student at the Kenya Medical Training College who was due to graduate. Chief Government Pathologist Johansen Oduor confirmed that Msando had died from strangulation and had deep scratches and cuts on his back and hands. Raila Odinga asserted that the ICT manager had been killed over the password, characterizing the murder as an attempt to drive a dagger in the heart of the election. Bungoma Senator Moses Wetangula echoed his sentiment, indicating that stealing the password would facilitate election rigging. On the day Msando's body was discovered, former Director of Public Prosecutions, Keriako Tobiko, announced that he had appointed 3 prosecutors to investigate the case. Interior Cabinet Secretary Fred Matiang'i, then acting in his role, stated that the country's best detectives were on the case, tasked with tracing the ICT manager's final movements, especially after his car was last captured by road CCTV cameras. The United States and United Kingdom, through their embassies, offered assistance to Kenyan authorities in the investigation. However, the country's investigative agencies had yet to issue a report on the preliminary findings regarding the murder. Andrew Rono, an accountant with a state corporation, was presented as a suspect but was released by a court after being detained for 19 days. Police did not parade 3 individuals they claimed to have arrested in connection with tracing Msando's last movements. Additionally, a 17-year-old Standard 7 pupil was arrested in Migori with a phone reportedly used to send threatening messages to the ICT manager. It remained unclear how Msando ended up in the thicket after being spotted in Nairobi CBD at around 1 a.m. The police account of this vehicle's movement was disputed by other reports suggesting that the slain IEBC officer may have been ambushed by his killers. The mystery surrounding the 3 individuals who were said to have been in Msando's company and who allegedly drove his car to Roysambu also remain unsolved. The tragic murder of Chris Msando is a dark chapter in Kenya's history, one that leaves us with more questions than answers. His dedication to ensuring a fair and transparent electoral process was silenced in the most brutal way possible. Chris was not just a public servant, he was a symbol of hope for a better future. As we reflect on his legacy, the quest for justice continues, and we can only hope for that one day the truth will fully come to light. May his soul rest in peace, and may his vision for a just Kenya live on. If you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for staying with me through this emotional and eye-opening journey into the life of Chris Msando. I truly appreciate your time, and I hope you learned something valuable. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the channel, give this video a thumbs up, and leave a comment below with your thoughts. Your support helps us grow and continue sharing important stories like this, and also growing our community. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.